So we'll talk about my exception handling. Before we talk about my exception handling, I'd like
Mm-hmm.
you to tell me one particular concept of WPT. Okay, we understand what is a WPT, correct?
Yeah.
So whenever I create a WPT for putaway, let's take an example of putaway. Okay, so again, as a general standard process, what I use 101,
Yeah.
right? So can somebody use PUTW as the putaway WPT,
Yeah.
right? So and can somebody use something else like 1011 or something else, right? Anybody
Yeah.
can use any WPT, but how do system know which WPT is for my putaway?
Correct.
How does system know? System comes to know about my WPT not from what WPT we determine or we define. It comes
Mm.
to know that this WPT is for put away, or maybe 2010 is for picking, or maybe 2011 is for picking, or PICK is for picking. Okay, how does it comes to know from? It comes to know from which WPC it is mapped.
Yeah.
You are clear on this, or you are not clear? Please let me know.
Yeah. At high level, I'm clear on this.
Okay, if you go to your WPC configuration, if I go to SPRO, right, if I go to CWM, EWM, cross process settings, warehouse task, define WPT. Okay, so any WPT I open, right? Doesn't matter what is the nomenclature of the WPT. Okay, unless
Yeah.
and until the WPT is mapped to the WPC, that is one. Once means put away, two means stock removal. From there only system understand. Okay, this WPT he is using for put away. Okay, if you map
Yeah.
that to two, immediately you understand. Okay, even though the name is put away, even though number is 1010, if you map it to two, immediately you will understand. Okay, this 1010 WPT is for stock removal. That is for picking. Hmm?
Correct.
Getting my
Yeah.
point? So
Yeah.
this is how my WPC and my WPT is related. Right. Now
Yeah.
let's talk more about WPT. So
Mhm.
when we say 1010 WPT, so this 1010 WPT is used or required to create a put-away warehouse task.
Correct.
Right? What is required? My put-away strategy is also required to create a put-away warehouse task.
Yeah.
Right? So now whenever I'm creating a put away warehouse task, we all know a warehouse task along with that a warehouse order will also be created. Without a warehouse order, warehouse task cannot get created,
Yeah.
right? And all of them depends on what? My WPT. My WPT is basically going to hold the warehouse order creation rule, different strategies, different storage process controls, okay, different source storage type, destination storage type, and storage behaviors. All these things are basically put together in the WPT, and how the WPT is getting determined from the different documentation item types as well.
Correct.
Clear about this WPT chapter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Now, let's talk about exception handling or exception scenarios. So, what do you mean the word exception in English? It basically means some unforeseen circumstances, right? Which is
Mhm.
not generally or which is not happening in a day-to-day activity in our warehouse, right? What are the
Correct.
activities that happen in our warehouse? Picking, put away, inbound, outbound, internal warehouse processes, scrapping, quality inspection, all these things happens in our warehouse on a daily basis, right?
Yeah.
However, whenever you are facing some unforeseen circumstances, some challenges you are facing, and your system is not allowing you to proceed ahead with the general or regular processes, that point of time, we use exception codes handling to do what? To do those changes and override certain functionalities, certain standard functionalities that are available in EWM system. You need to override them. How can we override them? Using the exception codes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Prasad,
Mhm.
similarly, like we suppose for example you are using a WPT to create a put away warehouse task, right? Let's
Mhm.
assume that we have created a put away warehouse task, right? Now when I'm doing this put away warehouse task, what happened? It will have a source bin, right?
Yeah.
And what about the destination bin? Of course, it will have a destination bin.
Yeah.
Once the source bin and destination bin is determined, the putaway warehouse task is getting created. Along with that, a putaway warehouse order will also get created.
Yeah.
This order will have if you are already having a queue management setup working in a warehouse, it will pick up a queue as well.
Yeah.
That will be my inbound queue, right? I am taking inbound queue. Now, once the
Yeah.
queue is getting triggered, based on the queue management and resource management, what will happen? Our resource will be tagged to it,
Yeah.
right? Maybe my resource S22 EWM 51 is my resource is right. Okay. So now what
Yeah.
happened? My resource ID is not tagged to it. So once my resource ID is tagged to it, what I do? Tell me. What happens in the physical warehouse? So whenever I see a warehouse order, I see what is the warehouse task, what it's done. Okay, I understood there is an HU or there is a loose product in my source bin. I need to input it. The destination bin, as simple as that.
Yeah.
Right? So what I do? I directly confirm this warehouse task? No. What I do? I physically go to the source bin. That is nothing but my GR zone. Okay, and this is
Yeah.
what this is a rack bin.
Yeah.
Correct. And suppose for an example, this is the rack. Okay, just assuming now this is the rack physically. Just think about the
Yeah.
physical aspect of it. Now this is the
Yeah.
bin where I should be doing a put out. Get my point? This is the bin
Yeah.
where I should be doing a put out. Now, when I use my forklift to move the stock from GR zone, all the way I went to here in the bin, before doing a put away, what I saw, boss, this bin is broken.
Mhm.
And there is some maintenance going on or there is some maintenance scheduled to go on today. That is what I can say, welding or some painting, greasing, oiling, something needs to go on this bin to fix it,
Yeah.
right? So can I store a product in this broken bin? No, because if I
No.
store it again, somebody needs to move it out today itself because the maintenance is scheduled on the bin today. So what I want to do now, I cannot drop the product somewhere outside over here, or I cannot take it back to the source bin and put it back in the GR. Right? I cannot do that. What I need
No.
to do? There itself, I'll search for the next empty bin. Suppose this is my next empty bin. So what I'll do, in place of storing the product over here, I'll store that in this.
Yeah.
Okay. But after I've stored the product into this bin, when I come back to my system, what I need to do? I need to this warehouse task is still open, right? I need to confirm
Yeah.
this warehouse task, right? But before
Yeah.
I confirm, I need to make sure that I have already changed my destination bin. If I do not change it, what will happen, Prasad? My stock in the system will show in a different bin, and physically in the warehouse, my stock is in a different.
Correct.
Right? So in case of a picking, my picking error task will be created from this bin, but when you go physically into this bin, we'll say, sir, there is nothing, there is no stock, it is empty. How do I come from this error task? So that will create a problem.
Yeah.
So I need to make sure that my physical bin, wherever I've stored the product, matches with the destination bin in my system. So
Yeah.
in this scenario, while, again I'm saying, confirming, while confirming the put aware status, what I'm going to do, I am going to change the destination bin using certain exception codes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me now go back and come on, let me create a purchase order and let's see how this is working.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will take purchase order and I will take, yeah, yeah, 41. Okay, it's today's date. Confirmation, yeah, it's there. So I've created a purchase order, right? So
Yeah.
while creating an inbound delivery, what I'll do, I'll try to create two different inbound delivery, right?
Yeah.
I'll take 20 as one, right? And another, I want to create the same, another inbound delivery from the same purchase order, right? So let me
Mhm.
first work on this, then we'll talk about the other one. So this is my inbound delivery. Let me go to ERPA. Okay,
Mhm. Yeah.
fine. So this is my inbound delivery. Perfect. Now what I want to do, tell me. So I want to perform my unloading. So I'll click on unload. Unloading has been done. I want to do a GR. Click on GR. GR has also been posted.
Yeah.
Right. I want to do a put away. Colon function, warehouse task, create plus save, warehouse task confirm. You can see what your warehouse order is there and the warehouse task is there. Right. In the
Yeah.
warehouse task, you can see the bin is over here. Now This bin is broken or something. I cannot do a putaway into this bin. What I want to do, I want to change this bin. Where I want to change this bin while I'm confirming the warehouse task. Getting my point? So while I'm confirming, tell me one thing, Prasad. I've already stored the product into a bin, right? I've already done that. Physically, I've already stored it. I just need to key in that bin over here. Okay, but you can see everything is grayed out over here. So what I need to do first, I need to open all this bin so that I'm able to change it. So I'll click on confirm in foreground. What I'll click confirm in foreground, and you'll see immediately everything is now editable.
Yeah.
Okay. Now here I will go and search for the bin whichever I have done my putaway. Whichever bin I have done my putaway, I'll go search for this bin. Suppose for an example, this is my bin. Or maybe this is my bin.
Yeah.
041004. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll choose this bin and this bin. Okay. But since my system does not allow changing of the destination bin after the warehouse task has been created, what I need to do, I need to enter some exception code. What is the exception code I'm talking about? I'm changing destination bin by using what? CHBD.
Yeah.
I'm using what? CHBD to change what? My destination. Clear? Now what I'll do? Simply I'll go ahead, do confirm plus save. Now what happened? This has been done. The puta has been completed and the stock has been stored into the new bin 041004.
Yeah.
Understood how the exception code is working?
Yeah. Only one thing.
Please, yeah.
Do you have any chance that we should get to know what was the existing bin and what we have changed now? So, anyways, to me is available, but what was the as is?
No, it will not. It will not show. Okay, because we are overwriting that on the document level itself. We've already overwritten on the document level itself, so it will now not show you what was the existing bin. It will only show you where you stored.
Okay. And when we are changing the decision bin, so do we have any such criteria that it should belong to same storage type or storage section like that? Or
No, man, no. You can change anything. So everything was opened up, right? You can change to another storage type.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can change it. That's not a big thing. Now, let's take a serious scenario. Okay, this is again changing a bin. It's a small thing. We can do that. Even though you will say, sir, कोई नहीं सर इधर रख के फिर एडीएच करके एडी प्लॉट करके दूसरे बिन पे ले आऊंगा कोई रॉकेट साइंस नहीं ठीक है ना that's fine I agree to that when you do an ADH or an AD plot the stock will also get changed and system and my physical stock will also be in sync so that's not a big deal right you can directly store in this bin and then go ahead and confirm the warehouse task right in this blue wala bin and later on you just create a warehouse task AD prod in my system and move the stock from here to here like logical move. Physically I've already moved, logically move you'll do. Getting my point? So those things also you can do, that's not a big deal. Right? But how about whenever you're doing you receive an inbound delivery, right? You did unloading, you did GR, you did putaway. When you're doing a putaway, you have created a putaway warehouse task, right? And this is done for a loose product, not for a HQ, okay? So when you do for a loose product, so when you go to move the stock into the destination bin from the source bin, you identify that the quantities in my inbound delivery document is 21, but physically we received only 20. Okay, one you have not yet received, but putaway task my quantity क्या 21. I need to reduce that down.
Correct.
And okay, forget all these things. Professor, do you understand what do you mean by confirming a putaway task? Basically, when my resource confirms a putaway task, he double checks and ensures that whatever is written in the putaway warehouse task, source bin, destination bin, product, quantity, batch, everything is fulfilled. Then only we can confirm an open warehouse task. Remember that. Okay, that is what the principle is, right? SAP EWM principle is, right? So, if he's saying that, okay, I can see only 20 inches over here, I have done a putaway for 20 inches, how can I confirm it for 21 inches? If I confirm it for 21 inches, what will happen now? Tell me. This will flow back to the ERP side as well.
Yeah.
And then the payments will be also done for 21 inches.
Yeah.
अब इसे 20 चलो इधर एक क्वांटिटी में बता रहा हूँ चलो 200 का ले लो 200 लिखा है लेकिन तुमने रिसीव किया 100 तो 100 का एक्स्ट्रा पे करो ना डबल पे कर think about it इधर एक पे करो तो ज्यादा नहीं फर्क पड़ता इधर तो डबल पे करो ना you don't really want to do that no you don't want to incur losses right
correct
so you need to make these corrections before you confirm the warehouse. Right? Let's
Yeah.
see how can you do that. For that one, we already have a delivery over here, 21 inches, right? And yeah, everything is there. Let me save it. So this is my delivery, 10025. So I'll come over here to 5. Okay. Okay, same again. I'll do an unloading. I'll do a
Yeah.
GR. Right, goods is completed. Then I'll go to inbound delivery, follow on function, warehouse task. Right. I'll do create plus save, confirm. Once I go to confirm, here what I can see simply, if I go down, here you can see what 21.
Yeah.
Now this is not the problem. What is the problem? Target point.
Quantity.
Right? I am
Yeah.
sure that I'm not doing it for 21 pages, I'm doing only for 20 inches. So I need to correct that. Again, before I will be able to correct that, I will click on foreground so that everything is now editable. So the storage tab is either editable. Okay, na?
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
change that as well. Okay. Now here, the source target quantity is 21. But what is the
Mm.
actual destination quantity? It is 20.
20. Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
now once you are changing the quantity, again you need to put what is the exception code for that. That is called DIFD. Okay,
Yeah.
what are you putting? DIFD, that means you are changing the quantities on the inbound delivery itself. As soon as you put that, ये देख सकते हो क्या बता रहा है? Destination difference quantity is what? 1.
Yeah.
Oh no, 21 minus 1 is 20, right? 21 minus 20 is 1. Right?
Mm.
That is what
Yeah.
it is saying. It is what? 1 is. You know what? Now what I'll do, simply I'll come and I'll save it. What happened? It's 20. Okay. Okay. Now if I
Yeah.
go back into this bin, let me see what happens in this bin. Okay, let me go into the monitor screen. I just want to see physically how much I've done. Tell me.
Yeah.
Physically 20 I've done or 21
20.
I've done. Tell me.
20.
20,
20.
right? So in the
Yeah.
system also it should show 20, na? If it is showing
Correct.
21, then a big problem, right? So if
Yeah.
I go to this bin physical stock, how much quantities I see?
20.
Fine. Now let's see the document level now how much it is showing. Document by the
Mm.
now, inbound delivery document. Here what is it? 20.
Correct.
But Prasad, tell me, when my FICO team is doing a payment to the vendor, okay,
Uh,
will they check my PRDA delivery or will they check GL33 and delivery, like the S4HANA delivery?
it's for HANA delivery because GR will
S4HANA.
be. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So GR needs to flow back. Very good. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's check that. If I go to VL33M,
Mm.
I think this is the delivery. If I go inside this, oh, this is 21, right? And whatever
Yeah.
the goods not status not yet posted, right? It is still showing
Yeah.
21. That means let me quickly check if I have some queues stuck for my delivery. I do control F, my delivery number. Oh, sorry, my bad. Let me copy it over here. I have my delivery over here. Okay, there are queue stocks over here. Let me activate all those queues. Okay. Meanwhile, I'll go back over here, re-execute again, see what is the quantity,
20.
and what is the goods mean status also posted, right? And
100.
clearly you
Yeah.
can see it has been 20. And if you go to the, even if you go to the document flow over here, right, you can see goods
Yeah.
etc. was posted for how many? 21 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you did a reversal for what? 1. So whenever
Yeah.
you use DIAD as an exception code, think about it. A GR reversal posting has been posted in the 4 side. So how powerful tool it is. Getting my point?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, do you want this powerful tool to be available to all the like all the warehouse workers in the warehouse?
No, only for a specific one.
Obviously, only for specific users like maybe a warehouse supervisor, super users, and so on. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fine. Okay. Perfect. We'll see that. How about this one? Are you clear? Any doubts or any questions? How this is working? How it is flowing back or not? All clear?
Yeah. Yeah. Clear. This is also belong to NPPF action that automatically actions are triggering and posting these documents in S4HANA.
Yeah. Standard pixel. These are all part of
Standard.
standard.
Yeah. Standard PPF. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Here it is. Okay.
Yeah.
So now, Prasad, tell me, so
Yeah.
we are good because we saw the physical quantity matching with the system quantity, EWM system quantity, right? Also,
Yeah.
we saw on the inbound delivery also it changed to 20, and most importantly, on the S4HANA delivery also it changed to 20.
Yeah.
Correct? We are good now on the delivery part as well as on the stock. Clear? Fine?
Yeah.
All good? Perfect. Now, let's
Only
talk.
one thing. Only
Please,
one
please.
thing.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
is there any possibility that though we have created a WT, okay, or we are creating WT, WO is already there, but can we reverse the GR itself in the system?
Over here, after completing the putaway,
Yeah. No, not completing Pudo. We have not completed at that time. Right? We have seen a variation in quantity. So we were supposed to do that foreground activity where you have put the exception code.
okay,
So that
okay.
document
So
was open. Yeah.
yes. So what you can do at that time, you can cancel the WPT, sorry, the WT, putaway warehouse task. Then you
Mm-hmm.
can reverse the GR. Okay. Then you can change the quantity from 21 to 21 to 20, and then again
Mm-hmm.
you can do the GR and do the putaway. Yes, you can do that. But again, think about it. Uh, Basically, you can do this only when you are a warehouse supervisor.
Yeah.
Getting my point? But you have to understand the physical aspect of the warehouse. Getting my
Mm-hmm.
point?
Yeah.
When you say that, sir, warehouse worker will be a warehouse supervisor. Suppose I'm just assuming, okay? Your warehouse
Mm-hmm.
worker and you will call, they will tell you, sir, ये डेस्टिनेशन बिन उधर सर खड़ा था मैं दूसरी जगह पे रख के चला ये बिन पे रखा है वो सिस्टम पे थोड़ा डाल देना. But you have to do that. Right? You cannot ask him, okay, hey, no, no, go and put it back in the wherever it was. Because again, you decrease the efficiency of the warehouse, doing the activity again and again. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, जब वो आएगा बोलेगा सर इधर तो बीसी है और इधर 21
Mm-hmm.
दिखा रहा था मैं तो पुटावे कर दिया बिन पे रख दिया मैं लेकिन वो तो
Mm-hmm.
20 है 21 नहीं है. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Get my point? So now when you cancel the warehouse task, again you can say that okay, I'll cancel the warehouse task, I'll reverse the GR, I'll do. But at that same point of time, see, it's not the only. I'm not the only person working on my system or working in the
Mm-hmm.
warehouse. Agreed. There would be another inbound delivery parallelly working in the system.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What will happen as soon as I cancel my warehouse task, immediately that bin will show empty in my system. Although physically it is
Yeah.
already occupied. In the system it will show empty. Any other person can do what they can create a put a warehouse task and that system that inbound delivery will take the bin. और वो
Mm-hmm.
जब पुट अवे करने के लिए जाएगा he'll say, oh God, already there is some stock in this bin. How can I store the stock in this bin?
Mm-hmm.
Remember how disruptive the warehouse will become. Getting my
Mm-hmm.
point? Okay. So that is why once the putaya has been done, we are now what? We are cleaning up the mess that has already been done. It's not like that we are the only person in control. So see, right now what we do is all logical activity. इधर हम लोग बैठ के जब बात कर रहे हैं ना सब
Mm-hmm.
लॉजिकली कुछ भी कर रहे हैं सिस्टम में लेकिन जब
Uh-huh.
फिजिकली होता है वेयर हाउस पे ना when you're working on a production system think about it physically somebody
Mm-hmm.
has already done the put away for 20 inches but in the right bin. Now you have to
Mm-hmm.
change the stock in the bin itself. We cannot say that I'll cancel everything, I'll do the reverse. You can do that. When you're working
Mm-hmm.
on a system on a logical perspective, we can do it. But physical perspective, things are different.
फिर क्या होता है sometimes that for some products maybe we need packaging, okay, and we cannot open the packaging, but if we observe that some weight is less or something like that, then maybe we need to just send it back to the vendor instead of getting it in our system. So in that case, when we in that scenario.
That's the altogether different scenario.
Mhm.
But here we are talking about correction in the same bin already after doing the put away.
Okay.
Clear? Understood?
Okay.
And in this way, what happens? See, you are just applying a exception code and see how it is taking care of not only the stock in the EWM side, also stock in the ERP side, on the document level in ERP and EWM side. Also. Both, everything it is taking care of.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
Now, the very important thing is, okay, all these things happening, but how? The question is how? Because we have maintained some exception.
Mhm.
Now, when we talk about exception codes, let me quickly go into the SPRO screen. I'll tell you, there are two different segments in my configurations. Two drastic different, like two configurations, those are totally different to each other. Why totally
Mhm.
different to each other? One is a config which we should not trigger much. Because just let me show you what are the exception scenarios. Okay. So here, if you see this one, maintain business context in exception code, if I execute that, you see a pop-up. What it says? Caution, the table is a cross-client table.
Mhm.
What do you mean by cross-client? This impacts both S4 as well as AWS.
Yeah.
Okay, across the clients like here, development, quality, products, and integration, all these clients it will be impacted, right? Now,
Yeah.
once I land up inside, there is something called sorry, there is something called maintain exception code context, a maintain internal process. There are two Two codes, huh? Exception
Mm.
code, process codes, internal process codes. Remember two things.
Mm.
How these are related. First, let's try to understand this. Then we'll deep dive into it, right. Getting my point?
Yeah.
We'll deep dive into that. Don't worry about that. But right. But first, let's try to understand it. Okay.
Yeah.
So as soon as I click on maintain internal code concept, what it says,
Mm. Do not make any
do not
change.
make
Yeah.
any changes, accept the data. So that means, can I clearly say my internal process codes are maintained by SAP and I cannot make any changes over there,
Correct.
right? So let me maintain over here in my Excel sheet what it is, internal codes. Can it be changed? No changes.
No.
Can I say maintained by SAP?
Yeah.
Okay. So what this contains, to go back in the system, we can see here CSVD, BID, all the internal codes are already there over here. Can I add something? Can I delete something? Can I edit something? No. Here, understood.
Yeah.
Yes, understood or yes, right?
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
these are basically running a program in the back end which is taking care of all the aspects. Just now what I told you, right? The aspects of the stock, the aspects of the documents in the ERP and S4HANA, as well as the stocks on the ERP side. Clear?
Yeah.
It's of course it's taking care of everything in the back end, okay? Because there is a program running in the back, right? It's clear about internal process codes, right? Now what I
Yeah.
do, the next thing I go is what, maintain operation. What do mean operations? जब ये मैं internal code use कर रहा हूँ, whenever I'm using this internal code, so suppose I'm using this exception code. What was the exception code we used? CHBD,
Yes.
right? Another exception code used DIFD.
Yeah.
So these two exception code whenever we are using, what we are doing, we are performing certain activities. So where we are performing that some activities? Are we doing in the GUI screen? Are we doing it in the RF gun? You can do it anywhere.
Yeah.
Yes or no? So that is nothing but what? Maintain operation. Where we are doing that. See, GUI is also known as what? Desktop.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I say 01, that means what? Desktop HU warehouse. When I say 02, that is what? Desktop product warehouse. So right now what we did, the two examples we did, what are those? Desktop product warehouse stuff,
Yeah.
02. So similarly, you can see there are different steps for different. Get my point?
Yeah.
Understood?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'll go to what? Maintain business context. Okay. What do you mean business context? Now, okay, we understood what is the operation, like how we are doing it. Okay. What we are doing it. But where we are doing it. Three questions. Okay. What we are doing it. That is what CHBD, DIFD. Okay. How we are doing is whether we are doing using my RF guns, or we're using my Fury or GUI, whatever I'm using, right? But
Yeah.
where it is done, which business scenario it is done. Get my point? So here you
Mhm.
can see right now what we are doing. We are doing what? Confirm putaway whereas task correct. In that point of time we use this. Yes or no?
Mm. Yeah.
So here you can see confirm whereas task for putaway. So TPT was the business context when we did this.
Yeah.
And if I try to do it for my stocking one, it will be picking whereas task में जब मैं करूँगा तो TPI it will be. Right? Now tell
Yeah.
me, Prasad, can I
Yeah.
do it? Can I do it when I'm doing scrapping, or can I do it when I'm doing ADHU, AD or any internal activity? Yes,
Mhm.
but I can do.
Ah.
So this is the one TIM. Getting my point?
Ah.
TIM the business context for confirming the varastas during an internal movement. ये scrapping ADHU, AD सब internal में ही आता है ना?
Mhm.
Okay. So these are the different business context what I can use when I am confirming the varastas. Clear?
Yes.
Understood? So,
Yeah.
did I anywhere define for my warehouse? No. These are all what? Independent of warehouse configurations. I created what? Business context. I went into my operations. I went into my process.
Correct.
Am I clear?
So all these are assigned to each other.
All these are created by SAP. I don't need to change anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these are assigned to each other. We'll talk about that as well. But yeah,
Yeah.
all these are independent as of now. Business context is independent, operation is independent, and process codes are internal process codes are independent. These are
Yeah.
not related to any each other over here in this node. And if I come out of this node, in this node, they are not related to each other. where they are related to each other, मैं डिफरेंट एक्सेप्शन कोड्स, ये दोनों नोड है ना, बहुत डिफरेंट है.
Hmm.
ये एसएपी वाला नोड है, ये हमारा नोड है. हियर वी कैन प्ले अराउंड एनीथिंग व्हाटएवर.
Yeah.
Okay, so once I execute my define exception code, here what I'm going to do, I'm going to define an exception. Just try to understand. We already created the internal code, right? Internal code was created by SAP, right? We have nothing to do with it. Now what I'm doing, I'm creating exception. अभी हम लोग कौन सा एक्सेप्शन कोड की यूज किया, सीएचबीडी यूज किया. Now my CSVD is mapped to a internal code that is also called CSVD. अब बोलोगे सर, मैं ये जो एक्सेप्शन कोड है सीएचबीडी के जगह पे मैं यूज करूंगा मेरा नाम सार्थक RASARTH, मैं यूज करूंगा SART, मैं ये यूज करूंगा, तो ये सीएचबीडी होगा क्या? होगा. Because exception code whatever I'm writing is not basically triggering. Who is triggering? The internal process code is triggering the activity. My point, ये दोनों मैप है. My exception code is mapped to the internal process code and my external code can be anything. I don't care, man. You can create anything, right? But what is mainly triggering? The internal process code that is mapped to the external. Am I clear? Understood? कैसे? जैसे इधर डब्ल्यूपीटी पे होता था 1010 डब्ल्यूपीटी 1010, क्या फर्क ना पड़ता. किससे फर्क पड़ता? डब्ल्यूपीसी क्या है उससे फर्क पड़ता. सिमिलर इधर इंटरनल प्रोसेस कोड क्या है? लेट मी राइट इट ओवर हियर. इंटरनल INTERNAL internal process code. Okay, internal process code. What is the internal process code? That is CSBD. That is basically impacting on the exception code. Whatever you create, I don't care. You write your name, you write some number, alphabets, I don't care, whatever it is. This is what is playing a major role. So let's see how this mapping has been done. Getting my point? And this configuration, Prasad, is completely done on a warehouse level.
Yeah.
Understood? Let's now go back into it. So create exception code. Okay, let's do a position. Let's go for a warehouse. Okay. So now here in our warehouse, what I have, you can see CHBD. What is this? Tell me, what is this? ये CHBD का लिखा है. ये क्या है? Exception code है ना? Exception code.
हाँ, exception code है. हाँ.
In place of writing CHBD, I can write my name, your name. I can write anything. Huh? My plate name also I can write. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and this what I'm doing, I'm just mapping my warehouse to the exception code. Have I defined anything over here? No, nothing. Just a mapping. Okay, I'm just creating a random exception. Right? Now, what I do, if I select this, or maybe if I want to create a new entry, I'll create WH44. I'm just taking an example, WH44. Yeah. I'll create a new exception code, right? I'll do boom. I'll say this is what change of, sorry, not handling, no destination. Okay, see this exception code, whatever I want, I can write. Ready, my phone. I'll try to save it. Okay, so now once I save it, what I'll do now over here, what I'll do, I'll define the exception code, what exactly it is inside. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll create a new entry. This is the exception code. Huh? What is the business context of it? Right, I'm going to confirm a putaway warehouse task, right? Yes or no? So here you can see PPT confirm putaway warehouse task. Okay, boss. How I'm going to do that? I'm going to do that in the GUI screen. That is nothing but the desktop. Right, so desktop product warehouse task.
Yeah.
What is the exception code profile? If you want to maintain some exception code profile, you can maintain it, or else you can leave it blank as well, right? So now what
just one thing. Sorry, just one thing. See, if we are putting it at desktop level, okay, so it will be available only for desktop, and RF OS cannot see that, right?
No, RF people cannot use it. Only for what? My GUI. When I say desktop, that is the GUI.
Huh.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll come to that as well. Just give me 5 minutes. We'll understand that aspect as well. Okay. Now what I do, simply I'll come and save it. So this is also saved. Now, if I go inside maintain process parameter, under that, what I need to do, I can create any exception code profile if I want, or else I don't want to do, I can do that. Right. Once I go inside this, create a new entry. So this is where what I'll do, I'll map the internal process code. What is the internal process code I want to map it?
CHBD.
देखो मेरा CHBD किसके साथ मैप है? LOBU के. सो जब भी
हाँ
मैं डिलीवरी लेवल पे एलओबीओ को कॉल करूंगा ना, बैकएंड में वो क्या
हाँ
करेगा, सीएचबीडी करेगा। समझ रहे हो? मेरा नाम सीएचबीडी हो, एलओबीओ हो, कुछ भी हो, मैं कुछ भी हो, डजेंट मैटर, it will always trigger what CSBD in the database. So then only if I save it, what will happen? It will work. समझ रहे हो? मेरा warehouse के लिए क्या था? If I talk about my TAPL warehouse, what happened? It was CHBD over here. But if I talk about my warehouse 44, what I'm using? I'm using LOBO over here, but it is mapped to what? CHBD over here. So what will happen? Every time I'm calling LOBO on the document level during the confirmation of the warehouse task, in the backend, what it will do? It will trigger CSBD. Getting my point?
यस यस
ये वेयरहाउस पे ये यूज करके जो होगा, ये वेयरहाउस पे ये यूज करके वही होगा. सो एक्सेप्शन कोड इज जस्ट अ नेम, इट्स जस्ट अ फेस, राइट? द वर्क इज बेसिकली कैरिड आउट बाय माय इंटरनल प्रोसेस कोड होगा. आई होप आई हैव मेड माय पॉइंट क्लियर.
या करेक्ट
ओके, क्लियर. नाउ लेट्स टॉक अबाउट द अदर एस्पेक्ट जो आपने बोला, ठीक है ना, कि सर वो तो आरएफ गन पे यूज नहीं होगा, नहीं हो पाएगा. ओके, लेट मी शो यू दैट एज वेल. सो इफ आई गो बैक and I quickly go for our warehouse, TAPL over here. So here you can see that I have CSBD. Okay, in place of CSBD, you can write other name as well, right? Now if you go to define exception code, here you can see there are so many entries. देखो, ये देखो TPT, 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 कितने एंट्री है टीपीटी के लिए? सब टीपीटी के लिए है. ठीक है. तो इसे सर why so many entries? Because different steps over here. Step one is what? Here you can see. Step 01 is for what? Desktop HU warehouse task. Step 2 is what? Product warehouse task. Step 4 क्या है? RF के लिए है. देखो, RF HU warehouse task. Right? Step 6 क्या है? RF product warehouse task. Getting my point? So all these are different steps. Using different steps, what you can do? You can tell, okay, where you can control that. You can give both. RF के लिए भी दे सकते हो. You can give it for your GUI.
तो,
Clear?
तो ये स्टेप्स मतलब एक काइंड ऑफ ट्रांजेक्शन है क्या ये, कि मतलब ये ट्रांजेक्शन्स के लिए वो वर्क करेगा, जैसे वो प्रोडक्ट इश्यू वगैरह दिए हैं उसमें.
स्टेप्स बेसिकली है कि कौन सा इंटरफेस पे आप काम कर रहे हो. जैसे आप जीओ पे काम कर रहे हो, आरएफ गन पे काम कर रहे हो, और इफ यू आर वर्किंग एंड दिस बिजनेस कॉन्टेक्स्ट इज कौन सा प्रोसेस, पुटअवे प्रोसेस, स्टॉक रिमूवल पिकिंग प्रोसेस, इंटरनल वेयरहाउस मूवमेंट प्रोसेस, ये है प्रोसेस, ये है इंटरफेस.
हाँ करेक्ट. ओनली यहाँ पे मतलब वो स्टेप में जो 1 2 4 6 ये सारा पुट अवे का है, तो
सारा पुटअवे में करेगा.
हाँ सारा पुट अवे में. तो वहाँ पे अगर इसको F4 कर सकते हैं ना, तो
जिस है ना.
हाँ हाँ. तो यहाँ पे सी डेस्कटॉप एच वेयरहाउस टास्क, प्रोडक्ट वेयरहाउस टास्क, तो ये दोनों पे वर्क करेगा.
दोनों पे वर्क करेगा.
ओके. इसमें मैं कुछ ऐड नहीं कर सकता, राइट?
You can add now. Why you cannot? You want to block the destination, that you can add, man. It's not like that you cannot. I've already given what all things required for CSVD. See, I'm just talking about CSVD. There are different other exception code. उधर आपका दूसरा यूज होगा ना. ये लिस्ट पे आपको ऐड करना है.
हाँ हाँ
Cannot add it ना. Just now I told you ना.
हाँ हाँ.
Either you can add anything on the business context, nor you can add anything on the execution step, nor you can add anything on the internal. वो तो तीनों तो नहीं कर सकते. वो दिखा है ना मैंने दूसरा नोट पे. You can play, you can use those combinations. See, there will be 6,000 combinations when you use them. Getting my point? इसका combination होगा, इसका कितने combination होगा? देखो अभी इतना ही step है. Into this one. फिर ये stock removal का many combinations you will get. Getting my point? Okay. Now, you understood this one or any doubts here?
Yeah, it is
Good, right?
Yeah.
Now, Prasad, I told you one more thing. We discussed just now that I don't want to. Again, this is a very powerful tool. We all agree to that, right? We don't want to give it to the access to somebody else. So there is what we have something called as exception code profile. Okay, we'll talk about that in next 10 minutes. Okay. Now, पहले अभी इस पे देखते हैं कि हमारा select everything. Okay, so this is what our business context and the step. So if I go to the maintain process parameter, here what I can see the internal code that is mandatory is CSV. अभी मैं जब मेरा वेयरहाउस का कर रहा था WH44 का, तो मैंने क्या यूज किया था? लोगो यूज किया था. लोगो यूज करने से भी वही चलेगा, और इधर CSBD यूज करने से भी वही चलेगा. क्लियर? अंडरस्टूड? एनी डाउट?
करेक्ट.
The internal process code, what it is mapped to the exception code is very important. अगर आप CSBD लिख के अगर DIFD डाल दोगे तो क्या होगा? चेंज इन द क्वांटिटी हो जाएगा. समझ रहे हो ना? समझ रहे हो? एक्सेप्शन कोड ये फेस वैल्यू है. फेस वैल्यू कुछ भी हो सकता है.
करेक्ट. तुम्हारा एक इंटरनल प्रोसेस कोड में मल्टीपल एक्सेप्शन कोड के साथ असाइन.
हाँ, मल्टीपल कोड्स भी एक्सेप्शन कोड इज एन, जैसे WPT इज एन आउटसाइड वैल्यू. System does not understand WPT, they understand WPC. Similarly, system does not understand exception code. They only understand internal process.
तो मैं वो वहाँ पे स्टेप ऐड कर सकता हूँ फिर उसमें वेरिएशन
Ah,
अगर मुझे देना है। हाँ
yes, you can.
हाँ
Okay,
करेक्ट। हाँ
understood, till I understood. Now, there is something called what? Maintain exception code profile. जैसे आपका, if you go for the warehouse, okay, my warehouse. See, what are the exception code profile? There is 001, there is 001. What is 001? Basic qualification. 002 is high qualification. So now what you want, if you want to give any exception code to any warehouse resource, right? तो पहले करेंगे चलो सपोज CHBD, मैं चाहता हूँ CHBD कोई भी रिसोर्स यूज ना करे, या फिर मैं चाहता हूँ हाई क्वालिफिकेशन, तो आई पुट व्हाट हाई क्वालिफिकेशन, राइट? फॉर एन एग्जांपल हियर आई पुट व्हाट ओनली हाई क्वालिफिकेशन पीपल कैन यूज इट, गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? और इट इज अ बेसिक क्वालिफिकेशन, आई कैन चूज कौन यूज कर सकता है, हायर क्वालिफिकेशन वाले या बेसिक क्वालिफिकेशन पर.
करेक्ट हाई क्वालिफिकेशन।
You can choose whatever you want. You
हाँ
can
हाँ
choose based on the business
हाँ
plan.
हाँ
Now you say, sir, इतने सारे रिसोर्स है, कैसे पता चलेगा कौन हायर क्वालिफिकेशन का है, कौन सा यूजर आईडी लोअर क्वालिफिकेशन का है? फॉर दैट अगेन you have a cutover activity over here. The T code is what /n/SWM/EXEC user ID, or you can follow this path as well. Again, this is the cutover activity, right? The T code is very easy to remember. See,
right
EXC exception code. EXC is exception code, right? Then user here user ID. Exception code user ID, right? Here if you
correct
go to a warehouse, okay, so here you can see 0 and 02, both the profiles are there. Suppose 02 you want to give to the warehouse supervisor. What to do? Come to SN user, create a new entry to your what? क्या जो आपका supervisor का user ID इधर डाल, जिन जिन का
correct
user ID चाहिए उधर डाल दो, ठीक है? Similarly, if you want to give the basic qualification to some clerks or some managers, you can give them users over.
ये स्टैंडर्ड है कि बेसिक क्वालिफिकेशन एंड
Basic,
हायर
this is
क्वालिफिकेशन।
standard. These are all standard. These are all standard.
इसमें कुछ ऐड कर सकते हैं?
You can add, man. If you want, you can create only one. You can do that. See,
हाँ
how
मतलब
to
जैसे
add
कोई
it? See,
सुपरवाइजर है या कोई ऑपरेटर
that is what
है।
I'm saying. Supervisor will go with higher qualification. All other people will go with basic qualification. Now you
हाँ
as the business user, do you want to give? Every time you ask the business, they will say no. We want it to only for our super user or supervisor. That's it. Nobody else gets this. Okay, so no point of having basic qualification. We always use highest qualification. Put your supervisor as well as your super user. Both people
right
access
right
on that, and they can use everything. As simple as that.
yeah
ठीक है, सी जब भी एक्सेप्शन कोड होता है ना, इट इज वन वंस इन अ वाइल, राइट? वी ऑल एग्री टू दैट, राइट?